What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the Exchange on Air. I'm your host, Cameron Nicholas, and today's episode is one that hits close to home for many, and yet it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Many may know, but to those who don't, June is men's mental health awareness month, and it's time that we break the silence around for what men go through silently every day. While 1 month isn't nearly enough, it is a powerful opportunity to speak openly, listen honestly, and maybe challenge some assumptions we've carried for a long time. When you get a chance, please hit that like, share, subscribe button for more on upcoming episodes of the Exchange on Air. Forgive me that I haven't been posting. I've been working, I've been traveling. I literally just got back from Canada about 2 hours ago. Had a very good time, and I've been wanting to do this episode for quite a while. So hopefully, the information I'm about to give you is very beneficial. Let's start with the hard truth. Men are dying by suicide at a much higher rate than women. In the United States, for example, men make up nearly 80% of all suicide deaths. And this isn't just a problem within the United States, it's global. But here's the thing. Men are actually less likely to be diagnosed with depression or anxiety and far less likely to reach out for help. It's not that men aren't struggling, it's that they're struggling silently. Why? Because of stigma, the fear of being judged or ashamed for transgressing masculine ideals, because of cultural pressure to man up, as in be strong, confident, and having emotional numbness. And because being vulnerable is often seen as weakness, but emotional pain doesn't go away when we just ignore it. It grows. And the more it grows, the more it becomes hard for men to truly express their true selves. I myself have experienced dealing with many things silently. And sometimes it's not easy expressing how I felt to the ones that were closest to me. And constantly going through that cycle of not expressing yourself, it can affect how you communicate with others, whether if it's your friends or someone that you love that's dear to you and that's close. Um, some time ago, there was something that I was battling with, and that still had a residual effect on me today. Um, I specifically remember uh, calling my mom to tell her, and she was already aware of how I was feeling prior to the phone call. Um, it 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 hurts me more mentally than anything, and I say that because I kept looking at how others would view me, and I always thought about my future and how it would just affect my life overall. Um, I really didn't know how to handle it. Even presently, I still deal with certain thoughts regarding myself and how I felt. Um, I was in a deep silent storm, and it was a storm that I couldn't really get out of. So I thought, received many calls from people, and I just wouldn't pick up. And then when it came to social events, whether it's with family, friends, people at church, I didn't want to be around anybody. I was at a point where, well, it was at a point where many noticed that I was distant. They started to question my siblings. Hey, is Cam okay? We haven't, seen him in a while. Um, he doesn't stick around anymore, and they would just tell them, just keep him in prayer. And I truly believe that was the lowest point I've ever been, to the point where I wanted to take my own life. And many people will never understand having those thoughts and how those thoughts can affect you in the long run. The thoughts of self-affliction kept running through my mind over and over and over. I didn't want to be around anyone Didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want, not even my parents. Um, Many times, with scheduled events that we have, um, I would travel and just sit in my hotel room, and it felt like the room would just shrink. I can recall a time when I went to Kingston, Jamaica, which was my very first trip out the country ever. And as soon as I opened the door to that room, this weight of depression just fell on me so great. I couldn't describe it. And then the whole scene of the issue that I was dealing with, it hit me hard. I mean, really hard. And it felt rock bottom for me. I just remembered calling my mom and just hearing her just wail and just cry over the phone. And even now, it haunts me. And as soon as that door closed to my room, I blacked out. I destroyed everything in that hotel. I punched the walls. I threw lamps. I flipped over a mattress. And this happened because I was hurt, frustrated with myself about what had taken place. And then from that, I couldn't enjoy the trip at all. My dad did speak to me, um, every day since coming home from that trip. He always checked on me and to see how I was doing. My mom, she always made sure that I was good, coming in my room every day because I stayed in my room. Even when I did go to work, they would always call. They would call my office, to make sure if I need anything. And because of me being a man of faith, I took it to God. And it was even hard for me to express it to him because I've been silent for so long. And most times words wouldn't even come out. It was just tears. And after those tears came out, whether it was for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, I just called it a night. Um, Lost many nights of sleep, constantly tossing and turning. And I knew I had to get myself out of the circumstance mentally and just learn to accept the reality. Learning to accept my reality is what truly helped me get through that tough time. And some days were very much harder than others, but even presently, I'm still going through that. I'm still going through that process of just accepting and just being thankful because I could be dead, I could be bedridden, I could be on every form of medication you could think of, but thankfully, that's not the case. So why is it hard for men to talk about mental health? A lot of it starts as early as childhood. Some boys are raised with the messages like, don't cry, be tough, deal with it. And the most common thing I believe is man up. They're taught directly or indirectly that showing emotion is a weakness. That being vulnerable somehow makes you less of a man, but emotions aren't weakness. Emotions are human. So these boys grow up into men who have learned to uh, keep it all inside, to suppress the hurt, suppress the fear, and the sadness. The world told them that there is no room for it, that their worth is measured by how much they can carry without breaking. They're told to be providers, protectors, problem solvers, to stay in control, to stay strong. So when life gets heavy, and as many know, it always does, they start to feel like failures. Not because they are failures, but because they've been taught that you can't show struggle without losing their value. And when silence sets in, they don't feel like they have the permission to say, I'm not okay, so they isolate. They put on a mask. They keep pretending. And sometimes that silence becomes too loud to bear. Sometimes they give up, not because they want to die, but because they don't know how to live with the pain in a world that just won't let them speak it. And this is why I'm a firm believer that conversations matter. Men deserve safe spaces to feel, to speak, and to heal. And the truth is, asking for help isn't weakness, it's bravery. Listen, we got to change the narrative about masculinity and mental health. Masculinity has always been linked to silence, to bottling up pain, to pushing it through without asking for help, to pretend everything is okay. Real strength isn't about hiding your emotions. Real strength is about showing up for yourself when it's hard. It's about making the decision to go to therapy, not because you're weak, but because you care about your healing. It's about talking to a friend saying, "Can we talk?" It's about having the courage to admit to someone just by saying, "Hey, I'm not okay." And knowing that doesn't make you any less of a man, it makes you human. It makes you simply human. And just as importantly, it's about being that person who creates the safe space for others. The one who says, "I hear you. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're not alone." That's how we break the cycle. That is how we break the cycle. By letting go out, by letting go of outdated expectations and embracing honesty, vulnerability, and support. Realizing that healing isn't something we do in isolation, it's something that we do together. And it starts with conversation, it starts with compassion, and it just starts with us. Those who are out there watching, listening, if you or someone you care about is struggling, here are some steps you can take. Uh, Talk to somebody, whether it's a friend, a therapist, a doctor. Don't ever wait till you hit rock bottom. Check in on your friends, especially those who seem like they have it all figured out. They got it all together. There's many resources out there and tools that you can use, such as there's apps out there such as Calm, which is made to manage stress, anxiety, improve sleep quality, and promote overall well-being through mindfulness and meditation practices. There's also another app that I believe is very, very helpful called Headspace, which is primarily used for mindfulness and meditation, offering guided sessions and resources to help users reduce stress, improve sleep, and enhance overall mental well being. It provides a variety of tools and features, including guided meditation, sleep casts, mindful movement exercises, and also focus techniques. Uh, there's also a hotline that men can reach, and this hotline is the United States Suicide Crisis Lifeline, which is 988. Or you can also go visit headsupguys.org. Again, that's headsupguys.org. And this is for men specifically. This website is a global online resource dedicated to men's mental health and suicide prevention. It also offers a variety of tools and information to help men and their families cope with depression and other mental health challenges. Other resources such as BetterHelp and Talkspace, which are other convenient and affordable tools for online therapy and for individuals who are seeking mental health support. Or if you prefer to see a therapist, or in person therapy is another option if available. And if you're in a crisis at any point of your life, whether it's yourself or someone that you know, please reach out now. There is no shame in asking for help, only strength. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month isn't just a date on a calendar. It is a reminder that healing starts with honesty, that no one has to carry their pain alone. If you're listening and if you're struggling, please know and understand you are not weak, you are not broken, you are not alone. Let's take the time and talk to each other. Let's show up and let's make space for healing. And this is not just a message for men, this is for simply everybody. This has been another episode of the Exchange on Our podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Nicholas. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button for more episodes coming soon. Again, once again, I'm your host, Cameron. See you once again.